All right.
Are we live now? Live?
Yes,
Yes, we're
yes,
live.
we're live,
Mm.
and it is 2 p.m. in Los Angeles, 5 p.m. in New York City. It is 11 p.m. in which city are we in?
In city of Uppsala, Sweden.
Yes,
Yes. Mm.
and that time means it's time for for Swede Live. So I am a Swede Speaks. I'm live from Uppsala. I'm here with my friend Charles Keatington. We are live on YouTube, and I'm happy that you are here. Welcome, and God bless everyone who is watching. I do this live stream most Saturdays at this time. I'm always happy to connect with you here on Saturdays. Next Saturday, I will live stream from Tallinn, Estonia. Today, I'm here from Uppsala, Sweden. But before we begin, let's pray.
Yes.
Dear Lord, bless our world, bless Sweden, and bless our world. Give Sweden a revival and give Sweden a sane government. Bless this live stream, bless the people in the chat, and Lord, make sure that your name is honored through this live stream. And remember that we take prayer requests in this live stream and we are happy to pray. So let me say a few words about what I'm trying to do, for whom, and what I'm for. I do this for you. Without you, I couldn't do this. So, to everyone who's watching and participating, thank you. The chat is for you to connect and discuss. And I'm in favor of Judeo Christian Western civilization, rooted in the heritage from Jerusalem, Athens, and Rome, and refined through the Anglo American tradition of liberty. Biblical faith, Greek philosophy, Roman law, and Anglo American ideas on liberty. That's what I'm for. Without these ingredients, the West dies, and you are not going to like what comes after the West. It is very important to preserve Western civilization and to defend it against its enemies. If it is socialism, political correctness, or Islam, it doesn't matter. They are all harmful ideas that need to be stopped. And they can only be stopped by us standing up for Judeo Christian Western civilization. So let's do just that. Remember, as we and many others have pointed out, we don't need a majority to win. Neither does the people undermining the West. All that is needed is critical mass, the stubborn 10%. So here I'm trying to connect with the 10 stubborn percent who are in favor of Western civilization. Understand this. This is not about genetics or geography. This is about faith, values, culture, and ideas. Politics is downstream to culture, as Andrew Breitbart pointed out. Culture, however, is downstream to religion. And that's why Western civilization can only exist in a Christian context. Remove Christianity, as many liberals and socialists have tried, and the West dies. So, if you want to support my work, feel free to do so. You can send a super chat of whatever amount you like. Just click the little dollar sign under your name. I will read out all super chats as long as you follow the general rules of this live stream. No racism, no anti Semitism, and no incitement. Please be nice, don't incite. And for the record, anti Islam is not racism, but don't incite against anyone, including Muslims, SJWs, Marxists, or whichever group you can think of. Thank you for being here. Let's all have a good time. So let's have a look at the chat.
Yes. Are there anyone here yet?
We have 16 people watching,
Oh, yes.
which is wonderful. And today we should talk about Sweden.
Oh, yes. God save Sweden from the evil. Oh, yeah, from the evil. Well, how will we do that anyway?
Well, when it comes to Sweden, Sweden really needs prayer.
Indeed, and we need much more than prayer.
Yeah. Um, well, Sweden did have an election recently,
Yes.
and we still don't know the results. Right? I mean, we know the numbers, and a few hours ago, the Sweden Democrats said they are going to vote for the moderate candidate for
Speaker.
yes, for Speaker of the House.
Speaker of the Parliament.
Yes.
We don't have to.
Yeah, right. There's only one house. You're right.
Yes, only one chamber. But that is very very peculiar, because traditionally there are two blocks in Swedish politics.
Yes, it's in theory you have the socialist bloc and the
Yes.
non-socialist, in theory.
Yes, in theory, yes.
Yes.
But now we have this third participant.
Yeah, which is the Sweden Democrats.
Yes, and they have 63 seats, wasn't it? Or
Something like that.
Or was it 62?
62 or 63.
Yes. And the Socialist Bloc
Yes.
has, was it 100?
142?
No, 43, I think.
Yeah.
142 for the.
You're right. There's 143 for the Socialist Bloc
Yes.
and 144 for the Alliance Bloc, and the rest for the Sweden Democrats.
No, 143 for the Socialists and 142 for the non-socialist bloc.
Yeah.
Yes. So the the Social Democratic Prime Minister claims that because the Socialist bloc is they have more seats.
Yes.
They must get they
have to get the prime minister.
Yes, yes. But
the thing
what they are doing here is that they are counting the communists.
Yes.
Yes.
But
as one of their own.
At the same time as they're counting on the alliance not to count in the Sweden Democrats.
Yes, and that is the interesting part.
Yes.
The Sweden Democrats, because they have 63 seats, I think.
Yes. And I would say that the Sweden Democrats are a lot more civilized than the communists will ever be.
Yes. One can say quite much about the Sweden Democrats.
Yes.
As one can say about all the other parties too.
Exactly.
Yes. But I still prefer the Sweden Democrats over the communists.
Yes, because even after the election, the leader of the so-called left party, which is basically the old communist party, just changed their name.
Yes.
They don't want to be called the communist party because it doesn't sound well.
No, but it still is. Well, it's not a pure communist party. Today, it's also much about feminism.
Yeah, they
feminazism, as I call it.
Yeah, they have a mix of old communism mixed with what would we call it? The neo-left.
Yes, the neo-Marxists.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what he said was that he still wants to nationalize all the businesses,
and not just all the businesses, but he wants to expropriate, to nationalize
all private property.
Yes, any private property.
So pretty much they could walk into your apartment any day and grab whatever they want.
Yes, that is according to their well, in Swedish it's called partiprogram. It's in
party program or party manifest.
Well, election manifesto is not really the same thing because in Swedish we call it valmanifest.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Party program is kind of the constitution of the party.
Yes, one could say that perhaps.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know whether the British political parties or the American political parties have anything like it, do they?
I'm not sure.
No, I know about the election manifestos.
Right.
Yes, but do they have any similarity to what we call partiprogram?
We might have to ask our British and American viewers about that.
Yes.
So let's see. Alicia Bell says they want violent overthrow, the opposite of what any thinking Western mind wants. I think she's referring to the communists here.
Oh, of course, yes. I'm quite sure that you are right.
And John Denmark says, after the Berlin Wall fell in 1989, all the communists remained seated.
Oh, that is unfortunately true.
Yeah.
At least in Sweden.
I mean, actually, I have seen the debate that they should have had the Nuremberg trials for communists after the Berlin Wall fell.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which they didn't have, but
I would support such a trial.
Yeah. But let's say a few words about Sweden. Which kind of government do we expect?
Oh, that is very tricky right now because as we talked about this third block,
Yeah.
that is quite a new thing in Swedish politics.
Yes.
But now they are really big, 63 seats.
Yes.
Out of 349, I
Yes.
think. Yes. So the Sweden Democrats is actually the third biggest party in the Swedish Parliament.
Yeah.
And what I read today is that they would support a speaker from the Moderate Party. A deputy speaker from the Moderate Party, wasn't it?
I think it was the actual speaker.
The actual speaker.
Yes.
But
the thing is, if the Sweden Democrats vote for the moderate candidate,
yes,
and if that speaker gets the other alliance votes too, he will win that election. And the importance of getting the speaker is that the speaker of parliament doesn't appoint the prime minister, but
he proposes.
Yes, he or she, in this case he, Andreas Norlén.
Well, yes.
Proposes the prime minister, then parliament still have to vote. It's a little there are some technicalities in this.
Well, does one really say proposes? It sounds like they're getting married.
Yeah,
but they put a proposition anyway.
Yes.
About a speaker. No, prime minister. I mean.
Yes.
And according to the tradition of the Swedish Parliament, the biggest party gets the speaker.
Yes,
and the second biggest party gets the deputy speaker.
Yeah.
And the third biggest party
gets the second vice or the second deputy.
The second deputy. Yes, we have two. No, we have three.
Yeah, there's one speaker and there's a deputy and there's a second deputy.
And I think it's a third deputy too. I think there are four actually.
I'm not okay.
But anyway, so the tradition says that the third biggest party gets the second deputy,
right,
speaker.
But the alliance parties did say that they're not going to vote for the Sweden Democrat candidates for any of these positions.
No, which they no, perhaps they shouldn't do that. I don't know, but the Sweden Democrats have said that they will vote for the non-socialist candidate for the deputy speaker position.
Oh.
Yes. But what will they get in exchange? Because this non-socialist bloc will not vote for their candidate for the second deputy speaker.
Right.
And that is the trickiest situation here. I don't really know how they have come to this conclusion, because they could just not vote at all, and then
yes, they can just lay down their votes, as you say in Sweden.
Yes, and then the moderate candidate, the moderate party candidate, would not be elected as deputy speaker.
And actually, that's pretty much what I think they should do. I think the Sweden Democrats should say, we're not going to vote for anyone until they give us a bone.
Of course, that's from their perspective, from their point of view.
I mean, I'm not a Sweden Democrat per se. I agree with them sometimes. Sometimes I think they're way too left.
Yes,
obviously, but I think they should look out for their own interests.
Well, isn't that what every party is supposed to do?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and some people say that no, we are not a party just for our voters. We are a party for everyone. No, there are no such party.
Of course not.
No. So they have some kind of obligation to vote in the interest of their voters.
Right.
Yes. Do we have a?
Let's see. Cobalt Ocean says, if the moderates knew what is good for them, they ought to have accepted Sweden Democrats' invitation to join as a bloc. That way, the Social Democrats would have to step aside and hand over the power to the moderates and Sweden Democrats. Well, the problem is the moderates, maybe the Christian Democrats, and the Sweden Democrats could form a bloc, but they have to get at least a silent recognition from the Liberal Party and the Center Party. And I think the Center Party is the real trouble here.
Yes. Well, primarily the Center Party, but also the Liberal Party.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's the real problem. Because in theory, or I mean in practice, Sweden is moving towards a free block system.
Yes, we had only 2 blocks.
We used to have that.
Yes. Oh, they,
whatever we want to call it.
But no, that was a couple of years ago now.
Yes. When the Sweden Democrats showed up, we started moving towards a free block system instead.
And well, why did that happen?
Well, it happened because none of the parties in parliament wanted to address any of the issues related to multiculturalism or Islam.
Yes.
Including all the consequences that people were seeing in Sweden with burning cars and rocks being thrown at policemen and firemen, and you know all this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, to be frankly, well, multiculturalism happened.
Yes.
And it didn't turn out quite well.
And this is why I always promote assimilation. And I wonder, maybe you have an opinion on this, but I wonder, just a few days before the election, Jimmy Åkesson, the leader of the Sweden Democrats, did make a point in Swedish TV. And he talked about assimilation. And
did he really? Because most of them talk about integration.
Yes.
And integration and assimilation are not the same.
That's not the same. But what he said was a lot of immigrants in Sweden, and we are obviously not speaking about people from Western countries.
No. Obviously not.
No. He said they don't get jobs because they're not Swedes. And then they extrapolated on this point by saying if you don't assimilate to Swedish society, you will not fit in. Pretty much that's what he said. But they only took the first part of the quote and ran it on TV.
Yes. So what most people heard or read is that they are not Swedes.
Yes. And then people were free to interpret it any way they wanted.
Yes.
Yes. But as far as I know, that's not exactly what he said. I interpret it as a statement of assimilation.
Yes, because what he intended to say, I would say, from what I heard, is that they are not Swedes when they get here to Sweden.
Right.
Which is quite obvious.
Of course.
But what he also intended to say is that they can become Swedes.
Yes. And I don't have a problem with that.
No.
I mean, obviously you can adopt a culture if you want to.
Yes, it can. It may be hard, but it's not impossible.
No, and also it depends on where you come from.
Yes.
If you're from Denmark or Canada, it might be easier than if you're from Afghanistan or Somalia.
Yes, but it's not impossible.
No, and also I think it also has to do with your own attitude. But of course, and I had a discussion with a friend earlier today. I met him earlier today in this nice city of Uppsala.
Yes.
And we had a discussion about the things going on. And I said that, and we said that, well, the Sweden Democrats are pretty much old school social democrats.
Yes.
To many extents, they have some politicians who are more to the right, but most are more to the middle or the left. They are welfare state nostalgics.
Mm.
They want to keep the welfare state, and their analysis is that you cannot have both a welfare state and open borders. To which I of course agree.
Yes, I would say that is quite obvious.
Yeah, I just said, but my friend or our friend he said that on the other hand, the welfare state leads to this kind of migration,
which is also true.
Yes, so it's kind of a two-way thing.
Oh well, it's not a two-way road.
No,
It's more like well, how do you say it in English?
well,
Fler feeling motorväg.
oh, it's a road with a lot of files.
Files? Is it really?
I'm not sure about that one, but you know, it's a multi-file highway.
Do they say file in your country?
Oh, we'll see.
Oh, anyway, Alicia perhaps could.
Yeah, maybe she says, "Oh no, Sweden would drag Norway down." I think that's actually true.
Yes,
I think if Sweden collapses,
which is
possible, it could happen within a decade or so.
It's almost doing that right now.
Yeah, I think the neighbors really need to think about how to protect themselves, because if Sweden collapses, the neighbors are next.
Well,
and that's going to be true for Norway. It will be true for Denmark. It will be true for Finland.
Aren't they quite worried about that already?
Some of them are, but it's not really politically correct to discuss this in Norway, at least. Although some people do anyway.
Yes.
Let's see. John Denmark says Sweden is a lost nation. In the future, soon it will be Islamic country, and many Swedes will flee to Denmark, Norway, Finland, etc.
Oh well,
in Denmark we will blow the bridge. Yeah, that's kind of funny actually.
Yeah, I would not say that John Denmark is wrong.
No.
Unfortunately,
I would say he has a point.
Yes, I think that. Oh, you may have to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they might have to.
Yes. That is the sad and tragic truth.
Yes.
But we have yet another opportunity.
Yes.
And that is.
There could be a new election pretty soon in Sweden, actually.
Oh.
You thought about that?
Yeah. Yes. Well, it could be, but that was not what I meant.
Oh, what did you mean?
Well, perhaps I'm quite a little more radical than you are.
Oh, we'll see.
Yes, but I think that the only solution from now on is a full-scale civil war.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I don't want a civil war.
No, I don't want a civil war either. I don't want it, but I know that sometimes war is a necessity. Yes. It's inevitable.
I mean, I'm seeing that it might very well happen in Sweden.
Yes, as inevitable.
Yeah, I've seen the memes where they compare Libya. No, not Libya. Lebanon.
Lebanon, yes.
Yes, Lebanon in the 1970s to Sweden today. And Sweden and Lebanon, they tick the same boxes until a certain point.
Yes, but you know, actually, we already have a civil war in Sweden.
Yeah, it's a low-intensive asymmetrical civil war.
Yes, that is what are they called in Swedish? Freds- och konfliktforskare.
Peace and conflict researcher.
Yes, that's sometimes well, people who do research about wars and peace.
Right.
Yes, they according to them, there is a civil war going on already in Sweden.
Oh,
as you said, a low-intensive and asymmetrical war.
Yes,
civil war.
Yes, because the official Sweden hasn't recognized this.
No, there is only one part in this war.
Yeah,
and that is what is asymmetrical.
Yes,
and it's low intensive because it's not every day, but it's quite often and in different places in the country.
Right, and Some people would say as immigrants or something like that, but I think that's too general.
Oh, of course it is, because it's
Ah.
not Norwegian immigrants or the German immigrants. Or,
No, I would say specifically Muslim immigrants
yes,
and their descendants.
yes.
It's pretty much the thing is Islam doesn't want to assimilate.
Islam does never want to assimilate in. Has Islam ever assimilated in any country?
I mean, wasn't it the Prime Minister of Malaysia, was it Singapore, Mr. Lee, a decade ago, who said we have a lot of groups coming to this country. We have people from India, we have people from China, we have Europeans and Americans, and they all fit in nice. And then we have the Muslims.
Yes, and that is quite how
It's really pretty telling.
Yes, it is.
And you know, sometimes I get these comments on my videos, or I'm getting comments. I mean, general in life, people telling me that I'm just this horrible racist, and I say, well, Islam isn't a race.
No, it isn't.
No,
it's an ideology.
Exactly. And then I tell them, and by the way, what do you think the Christians in Nigeria or Pakistan think about Islam?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes. So no, it's not a race. It's not even an ethnicity.
No. But for some reason, if you're anti-Christian in the West,
yes,
that's fine. You can say I don't like Christianity, I don't like religion, blah blah blah. That's fine. But if you say I don't like religion, I don't like Islam, then you're in trouble.
Yes, but that is an interesting thing that we perhaps should explain to our non-Swedish viewers.
Yes,
it's what is called hate speech.
Oh,
in
yeah.
English.
Yes.
In Swedish, it's called
Hets mot
folkgrupp. Yes, and folkgrupp means ethnicity.
Yeah.
Yes. So this Swedish legislation is specifically talking about ethnicities.
Yes.
But the interesting thing is also that this folkgrupp, this
group of people.
Yes, group of people. But in ordinary speaking, it's
everyday talk.
Yes, it means ethnicity.
Yes.
But in this specific legislation,
yes,
it also includes specifically Muslims.
Yes.
And homosexuals and
so on.
Yes. But folkgrupp doesn't mean religious group.
No, and I never heard of anyone being sentenced for saying anything bad about, let's say, Christians.
No. We have this this art exhibition.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Yes, but
Ecce Homo.
Yes, Ecce Homo.
Where they were making fun of Jesus.
Yes, and it was actually exhibited here in Uppsala in the Cathedral of Uppsala.
Yes.
And this is the art. Uppsala is the archdiocese.
Yes.
The archdiocese of Sweden.
Yeah, so it's the old church capital, pretty much.
Yes, it is. So well, that hate speech legislation is very problematic.
Yeah, of course,
all over the Western world,
I mean,
but very much in Sweden.
Yes. I mean, obviously, there is certain speech that isn't very pleasant.
No,
but I don't think the government can police speech.
No, and the difference is that the people can say whatever they want to me.
Yes.
Because I'm white. I'm a man. Cis man is.
That too.
Yes, as it's called, because I'm not trans.
Yes.
Transgender.
Yes.
And I'm Christian.
But you're left-handed.
Oh yes, I am.
You still have some.
Yes, but we are not a folkgrupp.
No, right. We're not a people of. No, we're not a group of people.
No,
that's true.
So it's perfectly okay to hate men, white people, and especially white men.
Yes.
cisgender,
Yes.
especially cisgender white men,
Yes.
and middle-aged people, especially middle-aged cisgender white men,
Yes.
and Christian people, especially Christian cisgender white men.
Yeah, because you don't win on any of the points.
No, no.
But at the same time, as I used to tell you, Islam always wins.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, because
we have already surrendered
yeah,
here in the West.
Yes, because you have this Somali-born lady who lives in Sweden, who is a convert to Christianity.
Oh, you are thinking about
Mona Walter.
Yes, yes, exactly.
And she's been very quiet lately, because she gets kicked out of Facebook all the time.
As am I.
Yes, as you are.
I'm banned at the moment, exactly.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Alicia Bell says, "Welcome to the chat. Please click on the like button. Be nice, don't incite. No cursing, no racism or anti-Semitism. Be a superhero to the channel and send a super chat." Oh, I approve that message.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
There is no reason to be racist or anything like that.
It is very nice if they send a super chat.
Oh yes, absolutely. That is.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Actually, that some of the most realistic people I met when it comes to Islam are either African Christians or Middle Eastern Christians.
Yeah.
Because they have lived through all of this.
Yes.
Or at least their parents did.
Yes. Like the gentleman we met in London. What is he?
He was of Iranian background.
Yes. What does he call himself?
Syrian king.
A Syrian king. Yes.
Yes.
Very nice.
He was very nice. He was a very nice fellow.
A gentleman, really.
Yeah. And he wasn't very fond of Islam.
No, absolutely
and
not.
And the thing is, next week I'm going to upload a video. I can tell you this now, so you got something to
look forward to.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm going to upload an interview that I did with a man in Stockholm who is of Hispanic background, Latin American, whatever you want to call it. And he compared socialism with Islam, and he said they both have one thing in common. They both create societies that are stagnant. They won't develop. Nothing happens.
No.
You go backwards, and then you get all these conflicts between people because they start fighting over the resources since there are no new resources created.
Yes, and there is another interesting thing because the left today, I call them the neo-left.
Yes, the neo-left, the neo-Marxists,
the neo-Marxists,
the identity politics,
yes,
the SJWs, these people.
Yes, and feminists and so on, because they have abandoned this old left, the class war.
Right.
Classes are not an issue for them anymore.
They gave up that idea.
Yes. So classes are not an issue for them anymore.
No.
But now it is all about
ethnicity, gender,
skin of color,
sexual identity, all of this stuff.
Sexual orientation and so on. And what does this neo-left, this new left, have in common with Islam? My hypothesis is that their common idea is to
pretty much crush the West.
Yes, I would say so. That is exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
they both want to destroy the West,
right?
And so they have a common goal, destroying the West, and because of that, they have their unholy alliance. But it is really an unholy alliance.
Yeah.
Because when Islam wins, these lesbian and gays and...
you're thinking about these people in the Pride Parade saying that they were for Islam.
Yes, exactly.
Those will be the first people that will be hanged.
Yes, that is utter madness, because these people, LGBT, they can live freely
Yeah.
only
Actually,
in the West,
yeah.
only in the Christian West they can live freely.
Yes, because the difference between Christianity and Islam is we will still say what you do between the four walls of your home, that's your problem.
Yes.
We're not going to tell you what to do, or we will tell you what we
want you to do.
But we're not going to throw you off a building or something uncivilized like that.
No, we will not hang you. We will not shoot you.
Exactly. And when people say that terrorism is because of socio-economic factors and all of that.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Okay. Yeah, of course it is.
I was not supposed to use vulgar language.
Yeah, but I mean the point is, why don't the cops in Egypt? Why don't the Christians in Pakistan? Not even the Christians in Nigeria. Why don't they see any kind of terrorism from these groups?
Yes.
Because if you were going to talk about poor and oppressed people, because they're not Muslims, really, terrorism, as far as I know, it only comes from Marxists and Muslims.
Yes, I think that we could all agree about that.
I think so.
If we consider our experiences and the evidence of history.
Yes. Yes, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So, do we think that actually, if Sweden does because if you look at Sweden again, they have 3 chances to get the government, right?
Yes.
And if they won't get one on the 4th vote,
yes,
Sweden has to go to a new election.
Yes, we could explain that, and that is when the Swedish Parliament when they elect a speaker of the Parliament.
Yes.
They have 4 chances. Yes.
Right.
Yes. So if the first one doesn't win, they can try to vote again and so on. 4 chances they have. And if they don't succeed,
right,
on the 4th time, the 4th election of speaker, they have to how do we say that in English? We have to call. We had to call for a new election, a new general election, actually.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if that ever happened before, actually.
No, but in some way, I hope that it will happen this time.
It will be very interesting.
Yes. It's in Swedish it's called extra val.
Yeah, an extra election.
Yes. Exactly. Most people say nyval, new election.
But the technical term is an extra election.
Yes, according to the instrument of government, we call it constitution.
Yes.
We have 4 in Sweden. There are four laws that forms the constitution, but it is not a constitution compared to, for example, the United States.
Right.
Grundlag, as it's called in Swedish.
But you could call it a basic law. Some people argue that it's not the same thing as a constitution.
No, exactly. We have 4 basic laws, as we could call it. But it's not exactly the same as a constitution as the Americans would call it.
Right. Well, their constitution is based on a different history.
Yes, and that is quite interesting if we are talking about constitutions.
Yes.
Because the American Constitution, it dates back to 1789, isn't it?
1783, I think. But in any case.
Anyway, yes. And the instrument, the current instrument of government of Sweden dates back to 1974.
Yes.
Yes. And before that, we had an instrument of government
dated back to 1809.
1809, yes. So it was the second oldest
Yes.
in the Western world.
Yes, and then they abolished it.
They abolished it, and now we have this one from 1974.
Yeah, which actually isn't very good anyway.
No, it isn't. But what happened is that Sweden went from the second oldest constitution,
Yes,
or constitution,
yes,
to the most. What is that called? We have so many. There are so many special things in Sweden. It's a very bureaucratic country, but you know, we have these parliamentary commissions from the 1950s to from the 1950s to 1973. We had parliamentary commissions to create this new instrument of government. So it took more than 20 years to create this law, this basic law.
Yes.
So we went from the second oldest in the Western world to the most
to one of the youngest.
But that was not my point, because it took 20 years. So in Swedish it's called världens mest utredda regeringsform.
Or the world's most, what would be the word? Inquired?
Yes. No, not really. I don't know. You know, we have this special thing in Sweden, statens offentliga utredningar.
Yeah. The government inquires into all these things.
Yes, but it's not really an inquiry either. It's
complicated.
Not really an investigation either. It's more like, well, I really don't know how we should translate that word.
No, it's pretty complicated.
Yes, but anyway, these members of parliament, they discussed in 20 years, more than 20 years. They discussed how this new.
But I think one of the things they did in Sweden, which really wasn't good, was that they decided that you were going to have the national election, the regional elections, and the local elections all on the same day.
Yes, in Sweden that is called the Kommunala sambandet.
Yeah, yes. And I think the idea behind this was that people would vote for the same party in all three elections.
Of course, because the Social Democrats.
Yes, hopefully they would vote for the Social Democrats in all three of them. I think that was the idea.
Of course it was.
Yes.
But to be honest, the Social Democrats back in those days, were not as bad as they are now and have been since the 90s.
Of course, because they've been corrupted, or whatever you want to call it.
But of course, we have to also admit that there was a period from 1968 to 1986.
Okay.
And this is
yeah.
And this is not what one is supposed to express officially.
Of course not.
But it was the period when Mr. Palme was a leading social democrat in Sweden.
Yeah, you're talking about my cousin here.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
So, yes. And I do not in any way endorse murder.
Of course not. We all know this.
Yes, that was a horrible thing to do.
Of course.
But now it has been so many years. So now we must.
We must say that his leadership was a disaster.
It was.
And the thing I usually say about Social Democrats, because Sweden had record growth from sometime around 1860 or 1870 until the 1960s.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And Sweden had record growth through all this time when Sweden was pretty much conservative libertarian, long before the Social Democrats got anywhere close to power. And they kept on going while the Social Democrats got power to begin with, because there was a difference between the Social Democrat rhetoric and what they actually did. And those Social Democrat leaders were usually working class, and they had some understanding, I think, that okay, this is what we say, but we don't really dare to do this because this might not work out. But then you get Mr. Palme, Olof Palme,
Yes.
who was more of an upper class figure
And
a radical.
Yes. Oh yes.
And he
quite peculiar, would many people say.
Yeah, and he just wanted to impose these ideas. And after that, Sweden was, according to some statistics, the second richest country in the world, second to the United States. And
well, that was not his achievement.
No, it was before he came into power.
Yes.
And then Sweden started falling on all the statistics.
Yes.
Yes.
That is actually what's happened.
Yes. And now Sweden is what, number 20 or 30 or something? Something like that?
Yes, something like that. Yeah. Some people say that Sweden is one of the best countries in the world to live in.
And I would strongly disagree.
I would say that Sweden is a beautiful country regarding the nature and so on.
Yeah, of course. And there is nice food and all of that stuff.
Yes.
But I always buy food when I am in Sweden.
Yes.
To bring with me abroad.
Yes, but politically.
Yeah, politically it's horrible.
Yes, politically it's horrible. Yeah. And that is what needs to be changed.
Yes.
And that is, as far as I know, well, of course, every political party wants to change in some way.
Yes.
But I guess that the Sweden Democrats, in some way,
I mean, I agree with them to some extent.
Yes.
But I don't think they've gotten they don't think they got everything right. They got something right.
But which political party has got everything right?
Oh, that wouldn't be any party.
No, I have got everything right, but which political party?
Yeah, well, I pretty much think I got everything right, but yes. I can't find a party that agrees with me on every issue.
Exactly. Then that is why I have not voted for the last elections. I voted this autumn.
Yes.
This September. That was the first time in several years.
Yes.
For me to cast a vote.
Yeah.
Let's see. Should Sweden become a constitutional republic and abolish the monarchy? Well, that's
a good question.
It's an interesting question because I both agree and disagree.
Yeah, I have the same problem.
Yes, because I think that Sweden today is actually a republic.
Yes, but it's not a constitutional republic.
No, but it is a republic in monarchic disguise.
Yes, because the king doesn't have any say at all anyway.
No, and if he says anything, that is also an interesting thing. His Majesty of Sweden, the King of Sweden,
yes.
he once said that if I say anything, people get angry with me.
Yes, I think he meant the politicians.
Yes. And then he added, and if I don't say anything, people get mad with me also.
Yes.
So that is his problem.
Yes.
in this country.
Yes.
Yes. But I don't want Sweden to become a republic. But I think that Sweden already is a republic.
Right.
Yes. But we have a monarchic disguise. We have a nominal king, but
right.
He's just a nominal king. We call him king, but he isn't a king.
Right. He doesn't have any. Even in Norway, the king gives a proposition to parliament.
Yes.
And tells them who they should elect for prime minister.
Yes. Yes. There's regal prerogatives.
Yes. But of course, the king of Norway would never point to anyone who doesn't stand a chance to win. So he has accepted parliamentarianism.
Yes.
I'm not sure parliamentarianism is the best system anyway.
No, neither am I. But we have one regal prerogative left in Sweden.
Which one is that?
That His Majesty is the chairman of
the Foreign Committee.
Yes.
Utrikesnämnden.
Yes.
The Foreign Committee, yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yes. But he's only the chairman.
Yes.
But I have a little funny story. We can have a little funny story.
Yeah, sure.
From this Foreign Committee of the Parliament.
Yes.
Yes. Of which His Majesty is the chairman.
Yes.
And until the 90s, the Communist Party had no seat at all in this committee.
I see.
Yes, because the social democrats of these days, they didn't like communists.
Right.
So
no, they would keep them out.
Yes, they governed the country, but they didn't like communists.
No, they called them Comrade 5%.
Yes.
And they would take their votes in parliament, but they wouldn't talk to them.
Yes, exactly. But sometimes in the 1990s,
yes,
the communists got seats in this foreign committee, and the then party leader,
yes,
of the Communist Party, Gudrun Schyman.
Oh yeah.
Yes, there is a story from a meeting with this committee.
Yes.
And they are sitting there around the table.
Yeah.
Discussing all kind of things
right.
about foreign politics.
Yes.
And Gudrun Schyman's cell phone rings.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
So she leaves the table.
Yes.
And His Majesty says, "Where are you going?" And she says, I'm just going to answer this call from my daughter.
Ooh.
And His Majesty says, "We don't do that here."
Of course not.
No. It was a serious meeting with a foreign committee.
Yeah.
They were discussing foreign politics.
Yes.
But her daughter called and, "No, I have to answer this call." "No, we don't do that here."
So did she listen to him?
Yes. She actually did, because she felt she felt his authority.
That's interesting.
So
that's very interesting.
Yes.
Since the communists don't believe in authority unless it's their own.
No, exactly, and they don't like regal power and monarchy.
Oh well, of course not. But
no.
In any case, and we should remind our viewers, in case someone just showed up.
Yes.
We should remind them that today's leader of the left party, which used to be the Communist Party in name, now they're the Communist Party not in name but in practice. The now leader Jonas Sjöstedt just said that he wants to abolish private property.
Yes. He's still a communist. But of course, we have a question here I think we should answer. From Luke Wardner. Did Sweden ever have two chambers in the parliament?
Yeah, that's correct. Sweden did until
we had
1973, I think.
No, from 1866-67
yes,
to 1970-71.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, we had two chambers. They were called Första kammaren and Andra kammaren.
Yeah, the
first chamber
and second chamber.
But the first chamber was not really like the House of Lords.
No, but they were elected in different ways.
Yes, Första kammaren, the first chamber, was elected. It was well. You are the American. You could explain that.
Well,
they were not. The first chamber was not elected by the people.
No, I think the first chamber was elected through a more complicated way. Based on the votes for municipalities and counties.
Yes, exactly.
While the second chamber was elected, by popular vote.
Yes. So yes, we had two chambers in the parliament,
and I think
for almost 100 years.
Yeah, and I think the idea with abolishing the two-chamber system was because the Social Democrats thought, and this might sound like I'm putting on my tinfoil hat now, but I think the idea was that if they would only have one chamber, they could persuade the public to vote for the Social Democrats, and they would get their own majority.
Well, of course, because if they didn't vote for the Social Democrats in the regional and local elections,
Yes,
this first chamber would be it could be a right-wing majority.
yes, and I think maybe also the idea actually was, as we said before, because now you vote for the municipality, for the county, and for the parliament on the same day.
Yes, Communal sambandet, as the Swedes call it.
Yes.
Mm.
But let's look. Homer Talk says Sweden needs to stay free from Islam. Yeah, that's a
Yes.
very good idea.
Mm.
Let's see. Lisa Leto says watching public broadcasting show focus on Europe. The feature is right-wing Swedish populist branding young immigrants as criminals. Well, I haven't seen that public broadcast, so I don't know who they're pointing out. But
yes.
I mean, I could make a guess, of course.
Yes, but I would say that it is a problem with that, and one problem is the Sweden Democrats a right-wing party? Well,
I wouldn't call them that.
To some extent, it is.
Yes,
because what has happened in Sweden is that the former Conservative Party, the moderate party,
yes,
it's not.
It used to be the rightist party.
Yes, but it is not anymore.
No,
and so
they were subverted.
Yes, so for what party will the Swedish Conservatives vote?
And that's a problem.
Yes, it is a problem. Some votes for the Conservative, the Christian Democratic Party.
Yes, some vote for the moderates, and a lot of them, I think, actually vote for the Sweden Democrats.
Yes, so I think that the Sweden Democrats, that party, will eventually conform to a much more conservative party.
Right.
And it is already today compared to what it was when it was founded.
Yeah.
And I think also that it conformed to a much more right-wing party regarding the economics.
Right.
During the last periods.
Yeah. I think they're pretty much a mishmash. What do you call that? They're a mix of different different ideological ideas.
Yes.
Their binding idea is that you cannot combine a welfare state and open borders. And you have more conservative wings, more social democratic wings. They would never call themselves that, of course.
No.
But I think you have a mix between different ideas within the party. I mean, you have this Sweden Democrat politician, Martin Kinnunen.
Yes.
That's the one who was attacked by the left a decade ago, by the way.
Yes.
And beaten down on an open street. And he is a Thatcher admirer.
As am I.
Yes, and I listened to, he was interviewed in a Swedish podcast, and I agreed with everything he said.
Yes.
He sounded pretty much like me.
Yes.
But then, of course, you have these other ones who, they pretty much just want to not close the border per se, but they want immigration to be tighter because they realize you can't have open borders and a welfare state.
No.
And I agree with that analysis too, although I don't want a welfare state either, but that's a different discussion, sort of.
No. Of course, one cannot have open borders and a social democratic welfare state.
No, it wouldn't work.
No.
And that's what Sweden is experiencing, and many other countries too.
Yes. But there are also other problems with immigration.
Well, you have this problem with group dynamics.
Yes.
If one Muslim moves to Sweden, only one, there won't be a problem.
No.
If 500,000 Muslims move to Sweden, there will be a problem.
Yes.
If 1 million Muslims move to Sweden, there will be a problem, because then you get a state in the state.
Yes.
As they say, because they are not going to assimilate because Islam forbids assimilation.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I would be opposed to a million Chinese communists moving to Sweden too. I mean, ideological communists.
Yes, of course.
Yes, this would have the same effect. We would have people who will not assimilate, but who would pursue a specific agenda and who would work for it very fiercely.
Yes. And speaking of which, we have yet another question. Why does Sweden want more immigration? Well, I would say, and I don't know if you agree with me, but perhaps.
Well, let's try.
That we have quite many center-left and left-wing parties.
Yes.
Yes. And they want more immigration for two reasons.
Yes.
One thing is that they want more voters.
Yes.
And the other thing is that they also hate the West.
Yeah, I would say the left wants open borders because they want voters.
Yes.
The so-called right, which isn't really right at all.
No.
But the so-called rights, the Swedish alliance parties, they want open borders because they want cheap labor. And that's actually pretty much alike as in the United States.
Yes.
Where they use Hispanic immigration in kind of the same way. The difference, of course, is that you don't have any Hispanic people coming to the US who wants to impose Sharia. They might do other things we don't like, and they might still want to keeping Spanish and stuff like that.
Yes.
But they don't want to impose Sharia.
Yes, that is another hypothesis about the former party leader of the moderate party, Mr. Reinfeldt.
Yes.
It is often said that he wants open borders because he wants immigration to crash the welfare state.
Yeah, I've heard that several times. I don't know if I believe it or not, because he just seems to be crazy these days.
Yeah.
But by the way, I should point out what our moderator Alicia Bell said a while back here. We're now on our last 15 or so minutes. I guess we're now on our 12 last minutes.
Oh.
So if there is anyone who would like to contribute to this work that we're trying to do here, feel free to do so now.
Yes.
So just click on the little dollar bell and donate any amount you like, and we'll all be very happy.
Yes.
We would really appreciate that.
Yes, but we had yet another interesting question here from Luke Wardner. What do you think about the AFS party, the Alternative for Sweden?
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical of them. I don't trust them.
No, I don't trust any party.
No, that's true.
Because I'm not a party.
No.
But I think there is quite a few problems with Alternative for Sweden.
Yes.
Yes. They have quite a few anti-Semitics, anti-Semites.
Yeah, that's my main concern with them.
Yes.
And that's kind of the litmus test.
Yes, but to be honest, I voted for them in the general election for the parliament.
Yes.
But for only one reason.
Yes.
And that is Islam.
Yes, because they are taking a very tough stance on Islam.
Yes, and the Sweden Democrats are not really...
They're not as tough as they used to be.
No, unfortunately not. But that was actually my only reason.
Yes.
For voting for them. So I'm not very comfortable with anti-Semitism. I don't like that.
Oh, I know that.
No,
we had the discussion several times.
Yes, so I don't really like anti-Semitism and so on. But I think that this Islam issue, the Islam question,
right,
is so it's so serious. It's our destiny in some way. In Swedish, there is a word called ödesmättad.
Yeah, like a meeting with destiny.
Yes, something like that.
I think what you could say is that I could put it this way. I hope that Alternative for Sweden will drive the Sweden Democrats to the right.
Yes,
and by right I mean, of course, a conservative right.
Yes, a conservative right, but Judeo-Christian conservative
Exactly.
right. Yes. Not this alt-right. I have never really understood the alt-right movement.
No, because I think that's pretty much conservatism without a history, and it won't work.
No, actually, absolutely
Because
not.
Western civilization has its roots, as I always say in the beginning.
Yes.
Judeo-Christian Western civilization rooted in Athens, Rome, and Jerusalem.
Yes.
Without these foundations of our civilization,
yes,
we have nothing to stand on.
No.
If you
and,
cut
and
down
we need our basis.
Yes, and I mean, I don't like when people say things like we should just go back to the Norse mythology and stuff like that. Yeah, well, Norse mythology, they were killing people at the temple in Uppsala.
Yes, but this could be an interesting question too. Why is anti-Semitism the litmus test? Not saying it's good, but shouldn't be pro-Swedish the litmus test for Swedish politicians?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I guess you could say both. But the thing is, if you're an anti-Semite, you're probably nuts. I mean, you don't understand the basis for our civilization.
No, and if the problem, if you think that the problem is that if you think that Jews are the problem,
yeah, if you subscribe to that crazy idea,
you haven't understood what the real problem is.
Yeah.
I would say.
Okay. Now Luke Warner just sent a super chat of 4.99 pounds saying God save Sweden. So thank you very much for that. We really appreciate your generous donation.
Yes.
So thanks a lot. Or how do you say it in Britain?
How do you say?
I mean, you're the British one here. How do you say thanks a lot in British English?
God save the Queen.
Oh, okay. God save the Queen, and thank you very much.
And
we're on our last 7 or so minutes.
And we have Islam is cancer.
I would agree with that.
Yes,
one.
Hermit Talk.
Yes,
says Islam is cancer. Yes.
I think we both have to agree with that one. I mean, pretty much. I think a thing that a lot of people in Sweden don't understand, and maybe also in some other Western countries.
Yes.
A lot of people who are because a lot of people are post-Christian. Yes. So they don't really know what the difference is between Christianity and Islam.
But there are quite many differences, and they are. I don't know how to express it, but how can one not understand the differences between
I mean, I always go back to render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and render unto God what belongs to God, where Jesus draws the line between the spiritual and the political.
Yes.
And I mean, of course, there's been a discussion about this in Christian history since then. But you have Martin Luther doing the rule of the two regiments.
Yes.
It's pretty much saying the same thing.
Yes.
While in Islam, it's all the same thing. It's both a political and a theological system.
And primarily political, I would say.
Primarily a political. It's pretty much an ideology with some religion put on top of it. Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yes, yeah. It's called a religion, so let's call it.
It's an ideology with some religion put on top of it.
Yes, but yes, it's a political movement whose founder called himself a prophet.
Yeah, he called himself a prophet, but he was also a warlord, a king. I mean, I'm not sure about his actual title, but he did rule a kingdom.
Yes, but he was not an enlightened king. He was not
he was not good. No, of course not. While Jesus rejected political power.
Yes.
Because he said, my kingdom is not of this world.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, as a Christian, I believe, of course, that Jesus will come again and he will rule. But he hasn't come yet. He's not back yet. It's different.
Oh, he has come for surely, but as you said, he's not back yet.
He's not back, exactly.
But he still lives in our hearts.
Yes. So we're going to end this in a few minutes.
In a few minutes, yes.
Yes, we have 27 people watching. So thank you all for watching.
And perhaps some unregistered viewers.
I don't know how that works. I'm not sure how that works. But yeah, I'm sure there could be some people watching on the same. Well.
Okay. We could discuss this one. Islam hasn't changed the Bible. But there is quite a few and significant differences between the Quran and the Bible.
Yeah, I don't know if we agree on this one actually. But I think we agree to some extent.
Yes, but the main difference, as I see it, between the Quran and the Bible,
yes,
is that we Christians we admit that the Bible, the books of the Bible,
yes,
are written by humans.
Yes, they are written by divine inspiration.
Yes, of course, by divine inspiration.
Yes,
but still by humans.
We argue about the interpretation of this, of course.
Exactly, and that is because we admit that they are written by humans, and humans are imperfect.
Yes.
But according to the Islamic law.
Yes. Yeah, according to Islamic law, the Quran just showed up.
Yes, it was the archangel Gabriel
who gave it to Muhammad, who couldn't even read, by the way.
No, exactly. And when he gave it to Muhammad, it was already written.
The interesting point about this, of course, is that there are several versions of the Quran, several versions.
Versions, yes.
Yes. And that's interesting because if the Quran was created by their Lord, the moon god, as I like to call him.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, how could there be more than one version?
And they are not allowed even to interpret it.
No.
The Quran, because the Quran is what it is.
Yes. The Jazzy says, according to the Quran, Jesus was not God's son. Jesus also didn't die on the cross. He was taken down and he got married. I don't know about the married part, but I know that the Quran denies that Jesus died on the cross. Instead, it says someone who looked like him was crucified.
Yes, and the Islamic teachings say that Jesus was just a prophet.
Yes, that's true.
A prophet among other prophets.
Yeah, well, Jesus himself says on that issue that I'm more than a prophet.
Yes.
Yes. But before we end, because we're going to end in a minute or so.
Yes, but we have to
address a Syrian king.
Yes.
He says, good evening, gentlemen. Nice to see you again.
Yes.
Good evening to you too, Assyrian king. It was very nice to see you in London.
Yes, we have to do that sometime soon.
Yeah, again. I would very much like to meet you again. I'm not sure how to arrange that because I don't know if I trust the UK enough to go there again for any close future. So,
yes,
but as I always say to people, send me an email.
Yes, Mr. Swede here, he thinks that he will not be allowed into the United Kingdom.
Or that I would be detained. Yes, I don't trust them.
Because, as you all know, Miss Southern, Lauren Southern.
Yeah, and she's not the only one.
No, she's not the only one, but perhaps the most known and famous one.
Yes.
She was detained. She was not allowed in to the United Kingdom. And what had she done? Do you know that?
Yeah, she went to Luton, I think.
Yes, to Luton, yes.
And she participated in this campaign saying Allah is a gay god.
Allah is gay, yes. That was what the pamphlet said. And that is very interesting.
That's interesting for many reasons.
Yes.
Because if we're on one side, we're supposed to be pro-gay, right?
Yes.
But we're also supposed to be pro-Islam.
Yes.
And I mean, as I said, as a Christian, I don't want to throw any homosexual from rooftops.
No.
I don't want any public displays of homosexuality. Thank you very much. I don't want to redefine marriage and so on. But what people do in the privacy of their own homes, that's none of my business.
No,
But when it comes
they
to,
have their own responsibility.
yes, but when it comes to Islam, they pretty much just want to throw gays off rooftops.
Yes,
And that's what she went against, actually.
Yes, it was a test. Obviously, it was a
Yes.
test. So she went to Luton in England, and she had this leaflet saying Allah is gay.
Yes.
And what happened? Well, today in the Western world,
Yes.
it's perfectly okay to be gay, to be homosexual. No one cares, and if anyone cares, well, it's hate speech.
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
but here we have two colliding ideologies.
right. Alicia Bell says, everyone pray for Tommy Robinson.
We will.
Maybe we should end on that note.
Yes, because
So let's just do a short prayer for Tommy Robinson then.
Yes, he is facing something.
Yes.
The 27th, I think.
Yes, he's going to court again.
Yeah.
So Lord, please protect Tommy Robinson. Please guide his words and his actions during this difficult process. Also, please guide the judges and give them wisdom and a sense of righteousness. And just please protect Tommy Robinson and protect Britain. Please give both Tommy Robinson and Britain, well, give them what they need and turn Britain into a good country again.
Yes, the entire United Kingdom.
Yes. So, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
And on that note, my friends, thank you all for hanging out tonight or this evening.
Yes, and thank you for visiting the Keatington suite.
Yes, and so until next time, have a nice day or evening or morning, depending on where in the world you happen to be, and God bless.